The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. We've got some great information we'll be discussing. Today, this is Matt Tour, and I'm with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I'm in the annuity marketing department here. I've been here for almost 25 years now, so seen a lot of changes over the years, and we've seen a lot of interesting developments here the last couple of years based on suitability requirements, based on some of the new indexed strategies being utilized these days that were not out 20 years ago. We've also seen a nice increase in rates the last 6 months. Unfortunately, some of those rates have started going backwards again, so we'll see how that plays out here for the next quarter or so based on interest rates. But we're also glad to have Dustin Carlson. He'll be joining us here shortly. He's from Fidelity and Guarantees home office. He's one of our marketing reps there at the home office, and he'll be going over some really solid sales ideas. He'll be discussing based on what F&G has to offer right now and some of the programs that he's seeing being utilized out there in the field based on some of the sales being done in the annuity market here lately. So we'll go ahead and get started with some of the things that we're offering here at IMES based on some of the additional tools and programs we have available. We have our referral program. You can refer agents to us. We get them licensed. They do business. You will receive overrides based on that production. Typically, it's a 20 basis point override based on their indexed annuity premium. If you refer a couple $1 million producers to us, then you will get at least $4,000 in cash sent out to you based on those referrals. So really nice program. We have that. We've also got our marketing reimbursement. Reimburse $100 to $300,000 that you produce towards advertising. So we have a nice little advertising account we set up for you. You basically send in your receipts. We'll send you out checks based on those advertising costs. Great way for IMES to help pay for some of your advertising needs and help you expand your business. So really a nice program we have going there with that marketing reimbursement. We also have our new producer perks. We have new producer builders. You're going to earn different incentives based on production. I know we see a lot of people taking some of these things that lead to more production. Maybe it's the seminar coaching or the Social Security 3,000 piece mailing, or maybe using some cash incentives to help pay for some of your advertising costs. Maybe you're buying 1,000 piece mailing, or maybe you're doing some social media advertising. We can help cover some of those costs based on what comes up for you and your needs based on a daily basis. So really some good stuff we have going on that side. Got a great back office support team here at IMES. Got a great group of people that help you out with your new business, to help you out with any advertising needs. Maybe you want to do a email campaign, or maybe you want to do a social media campaign. We have a great creative department that can help you out with that. We also have some great case design individuals on both the life insurance and the annuity side. We have lots of experience in our office based on our marketers. So if you have a specific annuity case you're looking at selling and you've got some questions on what needs to be accomplished before it goes onto paper, we can help you out with those steps. We can also help with any strategy questions you may have. Maybe you want to look at some income comparisons for a client that maybe wants to defer payments for 5 or 10 years. We could do some comparisons on that. We have a lot of really good software we can utilize to help you out with your selling in the field. So definitely give us a call. We'd be glad to help you out with those needs. We've also have our paperless contract. You can get licensed with a number of companies at one time. You don't have to get licensed individually. You fill out one set of paperwork and you'll be good to go across the board. So great programs available there. Anyone that's listening in, if you do have any questions along the way, be sure to get those typed in. We'd be glad to get those answered for you. I'll be following up with all the attendees and non-attendees that signed up for today's webinar in the next couple days. You'll be getting a call from me asking if you have any questions. Maybe you want to get some additional information on Fidelity and Guarantees products. Maybe you have some questions on some of the sales ideas we'll be discussing here today. So lots of great information you can get from us based on today's webinar. So just sit back and take it in, and if you do have some questions along the way, get those typed in. We'll be glad to get those taken care of for you. We have our creative marketing team. We've got 3 great individuals that work in that department. They can help you out with maybe redesigning your company logo. Maybe you want to do some campaigns on emails or mailings. They can help you out on getting those put together. Maybe you want to do some postcards. They can help with that. They've got some great ideas on the social media side. Maybe you want to do some Facebook advertising. They can help you out with all that information. So you could talk to Sean, Jacob. They'd be glad to help you out on that end. And I know we have a great group of individuals that can help you out with your advertising needs, and see a lot more activity on that side these days based on agents trying to get in front of more qualified candidates. So definitely a great combination there. We have our annuity website and our IMES website. You can go on to www.imsinc.com. It's available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You can go on there and do quotes. You can look up rates based on annuities. You can look up income comparisons. You can look up index strategies, which ones have done the best the last couple of years, 10 years, whatever you want to look at. We also have some great sales tools on our website. So really a lot of good information you can utilize based on our company website there. So definitely keep that in mind. We have a really great software program called the Retirement Analyzer. It's you can utilize this with clients. Really gives you some nice printouts you can look at. Got some great graphs. You can look at pie graphs, bar charts. A lot of great information there you can take a look at. You can plug in different variables. Maybe you look at premature death of one of the spouses, maybe nursing home stays, maybe looking at some turbulent economic times. The stock market might drop 20-30%. You can plug in all those variables. It's going to kick out some really valuable information to you to utilize with your clients. So definitely keep that in mind based on those. Program is available through IMES. It's free of charge. I know Marcus Solar in our office is an expert on that. So if you do have questions of the Retirement Analyzer, you definitely want to touch base with Marcus, and he'd be glad to get that taken care of for you. We have started up our RIA here at IMES. It's our IMES Wealth Management team. I know we've got a great group of individuals that work on that side. We've seen a nice increase on that AUM business, and it's assets under management. We've got some great platforms that your clients can take advantage of. Really some great information there that you can really utilize in the field, not only on the insurance side, but also on the security side. I just sent out a quick poll. If you have interest in being contacted by our wealth management team, they'd be glad to help you get established in that side of the business. Maybe you're looking at switching your RIAs, or maybe you're looking at taking your Series 65. If that's something you have interest in, just check off yes or no on the poll I just sent out there. I know that the process for getting licensed probably take you about 2-3 months to get all that done, and then you'd be up and running. I know it's always good to have a couple additional feathers in your cap that you can utilize, some different types of products with your clients. You hate referring an individual down the street to another broker, and then they end up taking all of your clients' money. So that's always a tricky situation, and it's always better if you can handle that yourself. So if that's something you have some interest in, check off yay or nay on this poll. I'll leave it up here for about another 20 seconds or so. I know that stock market's had a good run here the last 3 months. Of course, the beginning of or the end of 2018 was a little shaky. I know the market dropped substantially in the last quarter, but we have seen a nice rebound here the first quarter of 19. So we'll have to see if that continues or not, but should be a great opportunity to enhance what you can offer your clients on that end. I'm going to go ahead and close that up here. Going forward to the next slide here. We also do our life and annuity academies. We do about 3 or 4 of these a year. I know we have one coming up in May, and it's going to be in Des Moines, Iowa. So we're going to utilize that space there in Des Moines. So should be a great meeting we're going to be holding. We go over some great sales ideas at these meetings. We're bringing Typically right around 30 agents to these meetings. It's a great opportunity for you to pick up some great information on some of the programs we're offering there. And in regards to that, a question did come up on the wealth management side if we allow agents to act as solicitors. I believe we do. You do want to speak to Charles or Michael in our RIA section, the wealth management side, and they can help you out with that. But if that's something you do have interest in utilizing, definitely give them a call and ask them that question. They'd be glad to help you out with that side of it. We do have, as I mentioned, our next academy is coming up in early May. It's the 8th through the 10th. And I'm going to launch another quick poll. If you have interest in attending one of our academies, I know that we typically bring you in. It's all expense paid. We pay for your flights or we pay for your mileage based on driving in. It's typically a 2.5-day meeting. It typically starts on a Wednesday evening, goes all day Thursday, and goes into Friday morning. And then you would fly out or drive back Friday afternoon. Great way to enhance your knowledge on some specifics on some different product details based on some different strategies. Maybe you're looking at some life insurance cases. You may want to get some information on those. It's always good to meet some individuals from our office. We typically send in between 4 to 5 individuals from our office. We'll have a home office, which will be also participating in this meeting, and then we typically have you in for that 3 or 4 days, or that 2.5 days, and really a nice group of individuals also attends that does some presenting. We have some of our top producers go over some sales ideas with you, getting in front of more clients, closing more sales. They give you some really valuable information. We typically bring in our sales coach, Dave Pemper. He goes over some great ideas on seminar selling. Matt Gill does the same thing, one of our other agents. So really a nice program we put together on these annuity academies. I know we always see a nice boost in business after these academies from the attendees. And if there's something you have some interest in attending, mark off yes on this poll. I'll probably leave this open for about another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll go on to the next slide. But if you have interest in picking up some good ideas from other agents, I know we have agents in from all over the country. We do some small group discussions. We go over a lot of great information on expanding your client base, getting in front of more clients, seminar selling, maybe doing some customer appreciation events. We go over a lot of great information at these meetings. So keep that in mind. If something you have some interest in doing, definitely check off yes. If you do not, check off no. And we'll go ahead and give you a call based on your interest. So we'll go ahead and get that closed up here. But again, we do have one coming up in May. Our next one probably won't be until September or so. So that'll be the next meeting we'll put on. We have our annual trip we do. Actually, we do it once every 18 months now. We have our next trip is to Naples, Florida. It's going to be the end of August, the 25th to the 29th. It should be really nice weather there in Naples. And qualification started January 1st of 2018. It runs through June 30th of 2019. 18-month qualification. It takes 3 million points to qualify. You get different points based on annuity business, Medicare supplement business, single premium life, life insurance, target premium, and long-term care insurance. Basically everything you write through IMS will get you points towards our trips. I know it's first class all the way. Should be a very nice location there in Naples. I know it's a beautiful location in the state of Florida. I'm sure there'll be a golf event. There'll be some, I'm sure some ocean events, be it fishing, snorkeling, surfing, whatever it may be down there in Florida you can take advantage of. So definitely keep that in mind. You do have through the end of June to qualify for that trip. Should be a great one there. But we've come to the point we're going to go ahead and kick this over to Dustin here shortly. I know Dustin has been with Fidelity and Guarantee here for a while, and he has some great information he'll be going over. Is an internal wholesaler there at F&G. I know. It looks like F&G's kind of changed up their colors there, Dustin. Looks like they're going with the LSU colors down there.
Well, that's
With
kind
the
of
purple
what.
and yellow there. I mean, you guys must be LSU homers there now.
I don't know why people default at that, especially from the Midwest. I was thinking Vikings, and as a Bears fan, it kind of hurt my feelings, but
Right.
It's grown on me a little bit.
I'm more of a college guy, especially with the the March Madness happening and on all the basketball games. It's kind of hard to focus on the NFL at this point.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's a 12-month a year league, though, man. You need to
That's
catch
true.
up.
You got to keep it going. So I've got your screen up now, Dustin. Looks like you're good to go, and we appreciate you joining us this morning. I know you've got a lot of great information to discuss, so we'll let you go ahead and get started.
Well, yeah, thank you, Matt. I appreciate the partnership that we have with IMES. It's a great one, and you're just across the border there in Nebraska. So hopefully we get to see you at some point in May when you're out here in Des Moines. So
well, you better bring your boat out here if you're coming up to Omaha, because you might need it to get across the river based on what's happening over there.
We'll just kind of leave you guys over there then.
All right, we're like a strand on island over here.
But I'm glad you mentioned Retirement Analyzer. In a former life, I used to use that a lot, and a lot of successful advisors use Retirement Analyzer in the sales process. Really helps them close a lot of business. So I guess I'd encourage everybody attending to check that out. So
definitely.
Glad you guys provide that to your sales force over there. So
good.
So yeah, anyway, I always like to put this slide up, and have since November. We did get our ratings upgrade from B++ to A-, and we're shooting to get to A here fairly quickly, as quickly as we can. We do have a new CEO who came from New York Life, and then most recently was at Blackstone, the world's largest alternative asset manager. That Blackstone does have a minority stake in our ownership. We are a publicly traded company, and they own about 20% of our shares. But he's distribution friendly, which is what I like in my interactions with him at our sales conference. He used to be a retail advisor, worked his way up through management, and ended up running the entire life division at New York Life. So knows how to make that sale to get a client to sign a piece of paper to give us hundreds of thousands of dollars, that sort of thing, and knows how to build a quality team. So we're looking to have that positive impact here at F&G. With that A- rating upgrade, we wanted to rebrand, and as you alluded to there, Matt, we have changed some things up. And I want you to quickly identify where our logo is in this sea of blue, if you can. Can you do that for me, Matt?
I'm having a hard time finding it, but it looks like it's right in the middle.
That's right. Yeah, it took me about 10 seconds the first time I saw this thing too, and that's one of the things that we were looking at. How do we separate ourselves? Well, we go to some LSU colors, or
there you go,
Lakers or whatever. But
right. It is a Lakers color.
It is, yeah. Winning tradition there, I guess. But it's one of those things that it does separate us, and it really has helped improve our material. Our old material was written by lawyers, as I like to say, in a smoky, dark-filled room just somewhere in the basement of the building.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really client-friendly. It wasn't written that way at all. So we've transitioned to the new version with the new logo and new color scheme and everything. It does help our advisors, with the sales, just an easy story for clients to understand. So if you want to get your hands on some of that material, obviously reach out to Matt, and he can get that to you. So getting into our product portfolio, I don't like to spew a bunch of product at people because, it's not good for attention spans, at least mine anyways. So I'll be fairly brief, but just know that, I feel that we're the Swiss Army knife of carriers. We have your accumulation play, one of the tops in the industry, actually, with our buy-up caps and rates. Our MIGA rates at 5 years, we're the top-ranked A- rated better carrier at 3.7. And we have your performing income and your guaranteed income story with our Safe Income Plus. It has the top 1, 2, or 3 rated guaranteed income in the industry as well. I know, Matt, you had mentioned that you wanted to see the most recent interest rate sheet, so here it is. And what I'd point out here, most importantly, is our fee and no fee versions of our buy-up capabilities on the caps and participation rates. We have that available on the Accumulator Plus and the Accelerator Plus. Real quick, if you look at the Accumulator Plus 7, there's a no charge, and just for simplicity's sake, let's take a look at the S&P 500 annual point-to-point. It's at 5%, but if your client would pay a 1% fee, which is annually, and they can get in and out of that as they wish, as long as they do that on anniversary, they would be able to get 7.5 on that S&P cap. So an easy way to explain that is you basically take a 1% fee off the 7.5, and they would net 6.5, giving them the chance to earn an extra 150 basis points that year.
Yeah, the strategy I like the best is that monthly cap at 2 3/4. That's solid. I mean, you take a look at that on a monthly basis, even paying that 1% fee, you're miles ahead of 2%, I think, based on that much larger cap rate.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Matt, and because I'm seeing that more and more. I think most of the illustrations that I've been requested to run by marketers in the field, at least the last month, that has been monthly point to point. It's a great way. I mean, we're already in an annuity wrapper that's pretty safe. 0% guaranteed floor there. Might as well go for that upside. And if you can get 2.75 a month, and the S&P has a great year, which it is,
right,
you might be able to get yourself over 25%. But you can have one bad month in there, and it wouldn't work out for you. But at least you could allocate a certain percentage of the assets to that allocation.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go. I also like your fixed rate, declared rate. Bumping it from 4 up to 6 1/4 on that 10-year. Even if you're paying that fee, I mean, if the market's up at all, or it's even or up, right? You're in that 6 1/4.
It's got to be up 1 basis point.
So if you're up 1 basis point, and you get that 6 1/4 return minus the 1% fee, you're still up 5 1/4. That's a pretty nice story.
Well, yeah, and what some people may not realize is that fixed declared rate on gain, it's based upon the S&P 500 performance for that 365-day period, but it could actually outperform the S&P annual point-to-point cap, because if there's a 2% return or 2% return in the S&P 500, they're not going to cap out at 5.5 or 5%. They're only going to get that lower percentage. However, because it was a positive S&P number, they would actually get the declared rate of 6.5.
Yeah, so that's a good rate.
I love that allocation personally. So thanks for bringing that up.
Nice combination.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we rate lock for 60 days. We do our rate setting once a month at the beginning of the month. So these rates are good for 30 days. We did have 40 positive rate increases. And I don't know about you, Matt, but that Treasury being at 2.5 is quite it's tough for us to increase rates.
Right. We've seen a large number of companies reducing rates here in April, so I'm sure that trend will continue.
Yeah. We did have a rate reduction, so that's what I wanted to point out here. But with the buy-up capabilities, we do have the ability to have those higher caps and rates,
sure,
and even outperform some of that Treasury hit that we're taking as an industry.
Right.
This is our product mix, and I don't know if we're recording this or not, but you can take a look at the recording, or we can get this over to Matt and he can forward it on to you. But essentially, this is kind of where we take a look as we're marketing these products. We have the accumulation, performance-driven income or death benefit, with the Retirement Pro has a nice death benefit, and then our guaranteed income with the Safe Income Plus story.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the matrix there, but we'll go through a couple products today. First off, the Guaranteed Platinum Series. This is a way for you to gather some clients' assets that are hanging out there, maybe under the mattress, buried out back somewhere, whatever it is, but maybe they just have their money in CDs and they're paying income tax on the gains every year. Great way to defer some of those taxes. As I mentioned before, the 5-year rate is top in the industry currently. Last time I checked anyways, was a couple weeks ago on Annuity Rate Watch. 7 years pretty competitive, and so is the 3-year. Those are EAP only, so just a heads up on that, but we need to get you contracted and fully and set up for you to be able to write that product. Accumulator, this is one of our top sellers. I've seen a lot of assets moving to accumulation. I know it's an industry trend for the last few years, and this year has started out no different. There's no fee in this product. We do not have an income rider. It issues up to age 85, which is a great story. We have a 7 and a 10-year version, and with those buy-up caps and rates, we have high participation in our 2-year Barclays index, which is 160%. One other form of, one other competitive advantage we have over other carriers is our home health care rider. Comes along with the product, no fee for this, but if the client cannot perform 2 of 6 activities of daily living, we do allow them to get at the account value and the accumulation value with no MVA or surrender charge. Once again, here are the rates that we have in that product. We've already seen that, so I'll move on. But if you're a person that sells on illustrations, nothing wrong with that. We can illustrate up to 8.44% if it's allocated 100% to that Barclays Trailblazer. Even the lowest performing 10-year period, we had 6.36, so some nice gains in that illustrated software there. So I'd like to give a quick sales idea that we're running with here on the accumulator, and Matt, you can jump in here at any time. But sure. What's happening here is we're about 11 days or so till tax day, and we're RMDs and RMD planning is at the forefront of most people's mind. So what we're doing here is we have a 60-year-old dumping in $100,000 into the contract, and they're taking, on the 11th year, they're starting those RMDs. So that first 10 years, they're building up a nice account value, $155,217. Now, we used the 6 1/4 S&P 500 annual point-to-point cap here. This is a little outdated because that rate has gone down, unfortunately, but nonetheless, you'll get the idea here. So that capped out, I think, 7 years out of that 10.
Mm-hmm.
So with that account value of $155,217, the client starts taking around $5,000 of RMD per year. After 10 years of RMD or 20 years in the contract, they've taken out $64,500. But take a look at that account value. It's $157,812 still.
That's very solid.
So and I mean, you can probably take this a number of different ways, Matt. When I look at this, it's a legacy play.
Mm-hmm.
If a client just wants growth and they're just saying, hey, just take my RMDs out of this chunk of my money, that's a good play there. But legacy is going to pass along to their heirs with that death benefit column all the way on the right. They're going to get the $157,812. So a good way to keep that death benefit afloat.
Yeah, I mean, even if you take a look, even up to age 90, they're probably going to still have their initial premium in the account, even if they've taken out, $150,000, where that number is. They still have $100,000 probably left in it at age 90.
Right. Yeah.
Based on numbers I can see,
you're looking at $143,000, and
right.
The RMD going up. So, yeah, it's a good story, especially now over these next 11 days. If you have a customer out there that is looking for an RMD solution, that's a great way. But it's also good throughout the year.
Sure. And then they can reinvest those assets too back into annuities and even make more money down the road.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. And we do have a 7-year version of that product, and I have an illustration at 70, starting the
Hmm.
product at 70 and going from there, and it still keeps it above $100,000 as they're taking RMD. So
Right. Because if you
it,
reinvest these assets, you know, the RMDs themselves, you're going to have a pretty nice, you know, flexible premium story there for that annuity too.
right, right, good idea.
Yeah.
I want to touch base on our Retirement Pro.
Hmm.
This is a no-fee income story, but it also has a long-term growth potential, as I say here, as well as a good death benefit. I won't go too far in depth with it. I think it needs its own presentation.
Right.
So if there are questions, Matt, and you can kind of pull those together, and I can answer them. Otherwise, if we need to, I can always put together a slide deck, and you can send out to all the attendees after the meeting.
Sure.
But you know, this is a picture of me and my dad playing golf a couple of years ago, and he was able to just retire in March on St. Patty's Day on his 60th birthday from Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Railroads, as you know, have that old school pension, so my dad has known what he was going to get paid for the rest of his life for quite some time, and thus was able to plan what he was going to do with the rest of his life. And as you can tell here in this picture, he loves to play golf. So him and my mom have already moved to Florida, and I know he's gotten a number of golf rounds in already. He couldn't wait for that day to come. So you know, the reason I bring this up is not all of us have access to a pension. In fact, I think it's down to 5% of workers out there have access to that traditional pension. And we all sell products that can help people with that. And the Retirement Pro is one of the products that I feel does it the best. And the reason I say that is it provides a pension payment. It gives account growth, so it keeps that death benefit afloat too. So has some wealth transfer to it as well.
Hmm.
So really, it's for all seasons of retirement. You know, that transition from the working days to the retirement days gives clients the comfortability of knowing they can have that leisure in retirement. Like my dad out there, he's probably hitting golf balls right now.
I'm
Lucky
jealous.
dog. Anyway, I would if I was him.
That's right.
I did have a typo in here. That's not a 3.25 floor. It's actually a 3.5% floor to this product, as well as the, you know, let's face it, clients are living longer. It's income they can't outlive, and that's not exclusive to this product by any means, but it does have some benefits to it that does allow for a higher benefit for life. And then changing family circumstances, as I mentioned before, there is a wealth transfer aspect to this, with our death benefit being a cap of 200% of the premium that they're putting into the contract. So pretty solid there. And Matt, stop me anytime here if you have questions, but you know, we do have a no-fee income rider on this. 3.5% minimum guarantee on the income account value. So we're not saying that the minimum is 0% has to perform. We're saying 3.5. It does come with our doubler. All of our income products do have a doubler on them, and they all operate the same way. It's 206 ADL based, and I do have an infographic to kind of dive into this a little bit deeper, but 206 ADL based and no cap on the years. As long as there is account value, that income doubler will continue. Well, as I mentioned, strong accumulation and death benefit potential, and it operates similar to an IUL. It was actually designed by an IMO of ours that does a lot of IUL and wanted to mimic some of those caps and rates. So we have a 12% annual point-to-point cap, the 4.5% monthly point-to-point as well. And I'll show you how we're doing that here in just a moment. But we do have an enhanced death benefit, 7% premium bonus.
Yeah, I just launched a quick little poll here. If you want to get some updated information from us on F&G, just mark off yes. I'd be glad to get that information over to you. We can send you the spreadsheet. We can send you, you know, a lot of good stuff that F&G has to offer in the annuity market space, be it fixed rate annuities or indexed. We can get basically anything you need in your hands. All right, you can go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, thanks. Basically, just as you can read the bullet points here, but bonus goes to the account value over the 12-year period. That's a surrender period, but income account value gets the bonus day one. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, if you know, we all got to keep the lights on, so I like to mention comp occasionally, 8% to the street level agent.
That's solid.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely at the upper end of the compensation. So, as my agents always like to say, they like to get paid for what they do. So they definitely they take care of you guys in the field out there at F&G.
Yeah, and we have a few more benefits to agents. We really value the relationships that we have with our agents, and you know, hopefully Matt, you and the sales force there with the IMs can feel that. But you know, and the way that I'm going to position the Retirement Pro is it's an alternative to the no fee income story, because obviously the big bad wolf has been the 222. It's been out there for a number of years, and it does some things that our product doesn't. You know, it has increasing income. We do not have increasing income. You know, and we can have a debate on, you know, how good that is. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It definitely has its place.
Right.
I like getting that guaranteed paycheck forever and not having to make up, you know, the difference from, you know, because a lot of times those do start out a little bit lower payment than the guaranteed. But anyway, so a little bit of comparison here. From a guaranteed perspective, the 222 isn't very strong. You know, I believe the most recent update on the bonus, and anyone can correct me here, but is 22% at Allianz. So where those arrows are pointing, excuse me, is 100,000 on the accumulated value, 122 in the PIV, and then you have a payment of 6,700. Not a very good guaranteed product, and I don't necessarily think they're pushing it as guaranteed, but just saying. You know, from our perspective, this is our illustration on the Retirement Pro. It does perform, however, even on the guaranteed side, there's a nice floor with that 3.5%. So, you know, the minimum that we're putting into the contract is 1% per year, but this is guaranteed. So that first year is 1%, then we go down to a quarter. That's why you're seeing that in that interest crediting rate.
Sure.
So that is floor. It does give the client a little bit of growth there at 106,911. But if you look over to the second arrow there, a few columns to the right, we have that minimum benefit of $150,934 versus $122,000, which makes the minimum payment there $9,056 on a guaranteed basis.
Much higher.
Much higher, yep.
Right.
And so this product has a breakthrough feature, and I'll try to get through this fairly quickly and easily. And if you want more details on how this works and nuts and bolts, we can go through that. But essentially, what we're doing is we have a few buckets of money here. We're earning that 1% guaranteed, as you can see from about the fifth column over. 1% is what that client's making on the account value every year. So it's a little bit of, you're going to maybe have to resell this to the customer if they're looking strictly at cash value every year. But if they know it's a long-term income play, and I think 55 to 65 is a great niche for this product, because we're trying to get to this breakthrough number, which is essentially the bonus account value times 160%. You see that blue number of $189,888. That is the breakthrough year. So what we're doing is that 12% cap that I mentioned. We have a bucket of money that is growing at up to that 12% cap per year, and that's trying to get to the breakthrough number. Once Once it reaches that breakthrough number, in this case, it's in year 7 of the contract, not only does that income base keep growing at 12%, but so does your account value. So you can see in year 8 at age 73, the client then gets 10.55% credited to their account value. The next year they get 12.11%. So that is increasing that account value, which is part of the death benefit, which keeps that death benefit afloat for longer. Meanwhile, we have that benefit base that continues to grow at that up to that 12% cap as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid program there.
Yeah, and if they decide to take income later on, I think we're starting income on this product right away. After that, well, I'm sorry, not right away, but at the 10th year, it's $14,095. But if they have a little bit longer time horizon, they can wait, let's say, to the 15th year, and that account value benefit base would have kept growing at that 12% cap that entire time.
Exactly. You want to skip forward to some other stuff there?
I will, yeah, sorry. This is how our doubler works. Quick example. 5% withdrawal rate, $8,100. As long as they, satisfy that 206 ADLs, you got $16,200 for as long as there's cash value in the contract. Some of those illustrations I've been running have been showing for 10 to 12 years versus the competition at around 5 years. It is available in California. If we have anyone there, that's a huge competitive advantage if you're selling in California.
Oh, definitely.
Quick idea here on service sales, in-service distribution. That it can create a new niche for you with new prospects that maybe you haven't ever touched before, and ultimately creating a new revenue for your practice. I can send you the slides on this map so you can pass it along, but essentially types of retirement plans that allow for in-service distributions you can see listed here, but your typical requirements, they have to be at least 59.5. Most companies say, okay, after 2 years, maybe even after 5 years, we allow you to take an in-service distribution.
Mm-hmm.
This is a quick search that I did here locally on my phone the other day, and I screenshot 4 different screenshots to kind of help people use this. And, my pitch here is essentially, you go out to LinkedIn, you search for the results, and it's a great way for you to be able to get a list of employers that allow in-service distributions. And I have a list that has companies like, Home Depot, PepsiCo, national companies, so everyone on this call would typically have access to.
Sure.
But, the pitch is, what if I could give you a list of employers that allow in-service distribution, a list of their employees, and a direct way to contact them all for free? Would you be interested? And I'd say, 7 out of 10 people would say, well, heck yes, I would be. This is how I'm giving you that list.
Right.
Or that way, and I can always pass along the list to you, Matt, but to show you the way to do it, I search PepsiCo, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner. What comes up are 1,028 people that I could possibly reach out to. I've done some other searches in other areas. That number increases, but I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, where there's 600,000 people that live here. So I'm connected to Mike Levy. I'm connected to Don Losgard through a few people. So I can get a warm introduction that way.
Mm-hmm.
But moreover, I can connect directly with Dawn if I wanted to by sending her a 30-second elevator pitch that's typed out, or and however you choose to do that, that's on you. But one thing that I would point out is you can see all of her experience, and I couldn't fit on the education here, but the education is how I look to see how the age of these people, to see if they'd be in my target market. You can start having these conversations maybe at age 55. That way, they're top of mind. But in the meantime, you could get low-hanging fruit. In this example, maybe she left her 401k at Kellogg's or Kraft. Let's do a rollover from those companies and get you an income stream right away. And then at age 59.5, we can talk about your retirement at PepsiCo.
Right.
Another quick one. Over the last several years, the market has grown. As we all know, we had the tech bubble in 2002, 2008. We had, 2008.
Right. A little bubble there.
Yeah.
Little burst.
Yeah. And what goes up must come down.
Right.
And, there's not everybody had the 67% drop, but that was the S&P numbers. People got out, hopefully, in time not to experience all 67. But the stat that I had heard is about 86% of 401ks had a 37% drop in that time frame. So clients lost a lot of money in 2008 if they were in 401k. So this gives us an opportunity to talk to clients. Hey, we've had this meteoric rise, and that's great. Let's take some of that money off the table from your 401k, secure it with a 0% floor, and hopefully get some market upside, but protect yourself from that downside in the products that we offer.
Mm-hmm.
Safe Income Plus is what I like to talk about at that point. Play with house money, kind of as a scenario I talked about on the last slide. You want a lot of money here in the market. Take some of that off, put it in an annuity, and just maybe play with what you came with, or switch that around, play with the money that you went to the casino with. Anyway, trying to rush through this a little bit, but
no problem.
This product offers an 8% bonus, and there's another typo on this. I apologize again, but that compounding roll-up is actually 7.5. So that goes for 10 years. So, bottom line, this is the top guaranteed income product in the insurance industry in most age bands,
Mm-hmm.
and it does have the income doubler again. So reach out to Matt for an illustration on that.
Definitely.
A lot of times it does beat the performing income illustrations as well, depending on when you take income. As mentioned, we're very agent friendly, producer friendly. This is a screenshot of our deferred comp, non-qualified deferred comp plan. It's a 6-year vesting period. If you do the minimum to qualify, which is $1.75 million of FIA business, we give you one credit, and one credit is typically worth $3,000 to $5,000. We used a conservative estimate here with $3,250. So persistency is built into this. If you're an agent that keeps business on the books, then this is going to be a good program for you. As you can see in year 1, we give $3,250. If that business stays on the books in year 2, we give you another $3,250 plus whatever you did for us in year 2, which at one credit in year 2, we're saying $3,750. So at the end of year 2, you have over $10,000 with us. So you can see how quickly this could accelerate and give you a nice retirement at no contribution to you other than your appreciated business with us.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Matt. And if you don't already have this, Matt, I will send you this calculator, but I always send this to reps and marketers as I talk to them about this program, because it's not real until you can actually touch and feel the numbers, and this is the best way to do it. You can type in your production or your potential production with us, let's say $3 million, and we do establish a principal financial group account for you so you can manage it yourself, try to make the most interest possible. We're saying 4% here is a conservative number. After 10 years in this program, if you were to do $3 million a year with us, you'd walk away with $326,000 in your account.
It's a nice
story. Yeah, we're paying the taxes on the contributions up front, so all you're doing is paying taxes on the earnings. So I think that's an unspoken benefit as well.
That's huge.
Another huge thing is you can hang out on the beach with us in Costa Rica next year based upon your production with us in 2019. Means you get to the minimum of $3.5 million on FIA. We do heavily incentivize our IUL side. Let's face it, with a B++ rating, we weren't able to get the message out there about our company because that is a spreadsheet business out there in the IUL space. But we do have quality product, always have. If you are interested in that, Matt, get some people on the line with our internal wholesale team, and they can run some illustrations for you. But you can qualify at 15 times the rate you can than on the annuity side if you write life business with us.
Sure. Looks nice.
Yep. And one other thing that separates us from our competition, and people on the line could probably benefit from this, we do allow virtual sales. Now that's heavy on the IUL side, I get it, but the annuity side just hasn't come around to that. Our legal department has gotten comfortable with it and will allow you to do video sales with clients in other states. All we ask is that you use a video service where you can record it, FaceTime, Skype, whatever it is, and
Right.
the client would have to take a picture of themselves with their ID so that we can satisfy our U.S. Patriot Act requirement there, essentially. So that would probably be of value to many of the producers on the line. And if you need more details, I can get that to you. But that's kind of the gist of the program. Matt, you think there's people on the line that could maybe benefit from something like that?
Yeah, there's always people out there that have interest in utilizing the internet and trying to make sales based on that. So I think it's definitely of interest out there at this point.
Good. Well, that wraps it up for me, Matt. I appreciate the time and everything. With that A- rate upgrade, we're moving on to bigger and better things with the rebrand, and you're going to see some product innovation from us this year. We're a publicly traded company, so I got to keep my lips tight. Tough to do as a sales guy, obviously, but they don't tell us much on purpose. So
There you go.
I just know that there's some good stuff coming. Obviously, our MIGAs, our accumulation story, inner income solutions, we really are a one-stop shop. In our power producer program, you take care of us, you take care of your clients, let us take care of you.
Oh, awesome.
So with that, thank you, Matt. Really do appreciate it. If anybody has any questions or wants some of these slides or whatever, just let me know.
You got it. Well, appreciate your time, Dustin, and great presentation there, and a lot of information we discussed today. And I know that people will have interest in that RMD solution there by using the accumulator 10, and then be able to utilize LinkedIn and be able to get to some of those people that allow in-service distributions. I know we have seen a number of cases come in the last couple of years based on people taking advantage of that in-service distribution. And if you have a situation in mind you're looking into, give us a call. We'd be glad to do some further research for you based on your specific client. Of course, it always comes down to the third-party administrator to see if they do allow the in-service distributions and move forward from there. So try to keep this down to less than an hour if we can. And I do appreciate everyone's interest this morning. Great stuff we went over here today. If you have interest in any of the F&G plans we discussed or have questions on any of the other material we discussed, just give me a call at IMES. It's 800-255-5055. Just ask for Matt, and I'll go ahead and I'll be calling everyone that was on today's webinar and go over any details you may need from us on that end. So otherwise, I want to have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll look forward to doing some great business with you out there. Thanks, Dustin.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye now.